It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And y'all have spoken, and I heard you. You miss me doing maintenance. You miss me doing repotting. You miss me getting into the nitty gritty. And so here I am getting into the nitty gritty. When I did the walkabout Wednesday yesterday, I mentioned that I had these two pots that were in dire need of being reworked. So I figured, why not, right? Let's do it. So we're going to rework these pots. If you've got something that looks like this at home, pay close attention. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off all of the things that I like, that I want to reuse as cuttings in this pot. So this cotyledon or biculata is really, really great to work with as a cutting. This is an extremely tough plant. So I'm going to cut and just set things aside. Now, the length that I'm cutting, it's not really particularly relevant. I generally try to cut things at different lengths so that when I replant, everything isn't at the same length. But you do you. See, we're just cutting off all of the pretty, this isn't great. This is a Fred Ives that has seen better days. There's better Fred Ives over here. Here we go. I'm going to cut off all these pretty tops. And what I will eventually be doing is resetting them in fresh soil, because what I'm guessing, and we shall see, but I'm guessing that this pot is probably extremely root bound. And I'm guessing that I'm going to have to just start over with all new soil. This is a really pretty echeveria. In here, see these, the little crenunculation on that? It's got a couple little bumpies. I love that. Here's a few more bumpies. All of these black spots here. This is, who knows? This is a scarring that has healed. It could have been an insect that got on this plant. It could have been some sort of environmental damage. But I don't worry about these underside leaves, because look at the new growth, how healthy it is. So that tells me that this happened a while ago and it's past, just like how sometimes you'll get a cut and it scars. The plant isn't in any distress or danger right now. It's just scarring. So I'm going to take this etchy, cut it off. And these aeoniums. Pull off some of the dead leaves. I love these pots. Always loved these pots. And I've reworked them oh so many times. Mostly, it's rare that I ever put anything new back in them. I usually have enough cuttings that I don't need to add anything new. Okay, now I'm going to take out the blue elf also. Just cut them like so. So far, we've got like, I think 40 people have signed up for the maintenance workshop, which will be held on Sunday, June 9th. It's going to be another fun, live, interactive experience. You can go to lauraeubanks.com to learn more about registering for said event. I hope to see so many of you there. These little videos, I'm just trimming off the little dead tips here. This is just an aesthetic thing. I don't like the way that looks. The plant's fine. And see, look how stressed this blue elf is. See how it's starting to turn kind of mauve? That's stress, and we like that. Stress is really, really great for succulents if you're interested in having them color up. And there's nothing more stressful than having your head cut off. So I expect these to turn very pink now that I've cut them up. Anywho, I was saying, to be able to really spend an hour and a half or 2 hours with you doing maintenance without feeling rushed or pressured or like I need to get back to work, or, where I can, that's what we're doing. It's all we're doing. I'm not doing anything else. I am there specifically for you. to do this maintenance at my son's and answer all of your questions, explain every single thing that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Our son John records these lives, so you will be receiving a recording, which means you can really enjoy the immersive interactive experience, knowing that you're going to get a recording, so you can go back later. You don't have to take notes while I'm doing the maintenance. You can just enjoy it and then go back and rewind as much as you want if there are things that you want to see again, or maybe forgot, or didn't understand the first go round. And I'm going to take that area to the left of John's driveway, that first installation that we did a few years ago, and we're going to tear it apart, and I'm going to put it back together. I taught you how to do a succulent tapestry in another interactive experience a couple of months ago, and I would be remiss if I didn't teach you how to take care of it, right? So this is kind of a mini example of what we're going to be doing in the interactive class on June 9th. I'll be doing a lot of this kind of thing, cutting things up, cleaning them, resetting them, checking them for pests or disease, but on a much broader scale, with a bigger variety of plants. And, you know, we'll talk about things that are important to you, and that, you know, answer the questions that you have that I might not think, I might think you already know, or whatever. So I'm just always really excited to do these classes, because I feel like it's an opportunity for me to really spend some time with you. Okay, I think we're about there. This is the most rewarding thing you'll do today too. So I hope that after you watch this video, when the sun comes up wherever you live, you'll be able to identify a potted succulent arrangement of your own that you can tear into and rework. It is extremely gratifying. Now, you know, like this plant here, I could take the whole thing, or I could cut it up into parts. Generally speaking, it's better to work with more plant than less plant. If you take tiny itty bitty little pieces, the chances of them surviving a transplant aren't as good, and it takes them much longer time to reroot and grow for you. So I prefer to use a bigger piece myself. Here's something coming up, God knows what. And okay, so here I am. I pretty much have everything I want, right? What about this? All right, some of you have said to me in the past, well, Laura, is this stuff dead? And the answer is no, it isn't. And if you have far more patience than I do, you could leave this like this. And what would happen, you know, obviously clean out all the detritus, but what would happen is that eventually the plant would throw off new branches, would set new rosettes, and in time, you'd probably have a pretty nice looking arrangement again. But I can't look at that. I can't. That makes me crazy. So I prefer to start over. Now watch this. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. See there? Look at all those roots. Isn't that just nuts? So I will be disposing of that, and that's just that. Now, what kind of soil does Laura use? Remember, Laura lives in the land of milk and honey, and I can use whatever soil I want. So typically, especially for my pots, I use what's ever on sale at the box store. So today we are using Kellogg's Raised Bed and Potting Mix, premium outdoor container mix, which Greg got at Home Depot. If you live someplace with a hostile climate, where you get really, really hot days, or you have a lot of humidity, or you get a lot of rainfall, particularly in the summer months, things that succulents don't love, and it just doesn't stay real dry. These are arid plants that prefer, you know, not a lot of humidity. You can get a cactus and succulent specific mix. And if you can't find cactus and succulent specific mix near you, you can make your own by adding vermiculite or perlite, or packing those packing, what do you call those things?
Peanuts.
Peanuts. Anything to create some pockets of air where the soil can then hopefully dry, or the roots can find some dry space so they don't rot. This has a little bit of perlite in it. That's what this white stuff is. But I don't necessarily concern myself with that. All right. This already feels so good. It really is a very, very fun activity. And you're going to want to tamp your soil down a bit so that it doesn't decompose and sink really low. And I usually do that when I'm about 3/4 of the way done adding soil. And then I put some soft, loamy stuff on top like this, which I'm not going to pack down. That way when I go to set those cuttings, they won't flop all around, and I don't have to dig holes. I can just stick them right in there. No fuss, no muss. Do you use wet soil, dry soil? Best, since these are cuttings, it's best to use dry soil. And in using dry soil, these calluses, or these cuts are going to callus, aren't they? And dry out just fine. If your soil, if it's impossible for you to keep your soil dry, then you'll want to keep your cuttings in a dry spot for a week to 10 days until they do get a callus or a scab. But if you can guarantee that the soil will stay dry for a couple of weeks, then you can just go for it like I'm doing now. All right, so I'm going to start with my Blue Elf, which I have already, as I was what is the word? Just blathering on. I got these all nice and cleaned up and trimmed up. I might not need to use all of them. See how I do that? Remember, what is it that I say? If your succulent stands up, yes, you've done your job. Okay. How many of these am I going to want to use? I think not all of them. Let's just do, let's see, let's do this many. Look at all of these that I have left over. Then I want to set my next biggest thing in here, which would be this beautiful Echeveria. Put that right there at the corner. Then I'm going to set my Aeonium Urbicums back in. I don't remember what this looked like before I took everything out, and don't even stress about it. Just put it back together however you see fit. I think I'm going to do one of the Aeoniums over here on this side. Oh, and I have these really cool cotyledons too to tuck in, right? Get that in there. Then, because this is going to flop a little, and keep in mind, the nature of the cotyledon is to grow upright. So I want to take something that is going to not be so quick to grow upright, like this Fred Ives, and tuck it in right there underneath it. That holds the cotyledon up. See that? And as these plants reroot and start to grow, this will cover any stem and keep this plant from flopping around. This is a great one. Yeah, I think I nailed it with how many Blue Elf to put back. No, I don't want to put a cotyledon here and a cotyledon here, because then it's going to look like pom-poms. So I'm going to scoot this Aeonium over and just do my cotyledons right here together. And then let's take some of these really beautiful sedum. You want your sedum to be on the outside of your bowl. If you put the sedums in here, you're not going to be able to see them. And then I have this little sunburst Aeonium. Flip this around so you can see what I'm doing. More of these fantastic sedum. See, this is why you want some of your stems to be a little longer, because I want this one to be able to stand up a little bit. And then I'll take a shorter one and tuck it in front like so. And then as I'm looking down on this arrangement, I can see other spots where I might want to tuck in some more of the rosettes. I've got this really cool crassula. This ovata, this is a Gollum variegated, and it will grow on the tall side. So I'm going to tuck it in right here because I want to see it. I like that. I like that break, and I like that color. I don't know that this Gollum is even, if the stem is even touching the surface of the soil. It really doesn't matter. The roots will figure it out. And then I can take the rest of these really cute little rosettes, as many as I want. Remember too, because I'm working with cuttings, these plants are going to shrink a little bit. So you really want to cram them in there with a shoehorn, guys. Tight, 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 tight. Don't be of the mind to wait for things to fill in. Make it look full right out of the get, and you will be a lot happier with your arrangement. Now, I'm going to show you too, because I'm almost done. This actually went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. But I want to show you its companion, the other one, when I'm done with this. So yeah, that feels tight. That feels really good. Look at these plants that I have left over too. These are plants that I can use somewhere else. How exciting is that? Very, very cool. But let's go over and take a look at them side by side. So look at that. Look how much better that new arrangement looks compared to this one, which I'll probably take. I'll just do that one too right now so that they're even and they can grow together at an even rate. But that's all there is to it, guys. It's not rocket science, is it? Don't be afraid to just dig in just like I did it. Now I'm going to wait at least 2 weeks before I water this because there's no point. There are no roots. So what's the point of watering a plant that doesn't have any roots? There is no point. So another thing, this here in San Diego, it's the end of May. The weather is, I don't know, it's been really cloudy in the morning, starting to get a little sunny in the afternoon. Bottom line, you want to set your arrangement that you have just reworked in an area that gets mostly shade. Morning sun is okay, afternoon shade is best. Because they're cuttings, these plants could burn in the full hot sun. So if you've got an umbrella or somewhere you can put this where it's going to get really bright light but no direct sunlight for like a month to 6 weeks, you're going to be a lot happier with your arrangement. If you have any questions or there's anything I left out, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. And I hope to see you June 9th. Remember, lauraeubanks.com if you would like to learn how to do a full maintenance, a full tapestry or a full succulent garden maintenance. Be sure and sign up, and I will see you then. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.